Hi everyone, Captain Pigbot here. I thought I'd share a battle that I did recently in one of my favorite ships, the Sims. Just showing you here how I have it fitted out. You can see that I have a fair number of credits, so I'm able to have premium consumables. So I have premium damage control, premium smoke, and engine boost too, which I like engine boost. Here I'm showing you the captain skills. I have a 19-point captain. Adrenaline Rush was the last captain skill that I got. I like it a lot. It's very useful. Able to shoot faster and get torpedoes out faster. Survivability Expert works very well for me. It's something that I tend to take a lot of damage because I'm kind of aggressive, so it's good to have a little bit of extra HP there. And as you can see, I have Concealment Expert and Radio Location, and I like both of those. Concealment's kind of an obvious one. From a flag standpoint, you can see that I have what do I have? I have detonation flags and I have extra flooding flags. So if I get a torpedo hit, there's a greater chance of flooding. And I thought I'd show you this mission here. This is one that I did past couple of days. It was real touch and go, but we pulled it out. And obviously I felt good about that. One of the first things I do in any mission is I go look at the opposing team and count their radar ships. So you can see that there's 5 radar ships over here: the Missouri, the Baltimore, the Neptune, the Chapayev, and the Atlanta. So I just do a count again just to make sure I got that right. Get into the match. I immediately tell my teammates that there's 5 radar ships. They probably know this already, but I figure extra information couldn't hurt. As you can see, I'm a little typing challenged, so I'm retyping things, and that's going to burn me here in a second. So now as I'm waiting for the match to start, I'm kind of thinking, what is it that I want to do? Do I want to go for A or do I want to go for B? And, A certainly is attractive in the sense that I'm closer to it. But generally, a lot of red ships are not going to work their way into A. You can see how it's kind of constricted. And I'm figuring I won't have too much to fight over there, not too many targets for my torpedoes. So I figured that I'll head over to B and, maybe help our other DD, and, maybe it'll be a more target-rich environment. It's possible to be successful at A, but once you go in there, you're usually out of the battle for a while, and I just figured that I should play a bigger role in B. So you see somebody asks where we should go. I report that I'm going to scout B, which is something that I frequently do. I misspell it like a fool, go to retype it, and then now is here when I make my mistake. I intend to type again, but I haven't activated the chat window. So instead, because the chat window is not activated, I turn on my smoke, I turn on my engine boost, and I even turn off my anti-aircraft fire, which is just a complete 100% dumb mistake on my part. So I try to orient my smoke as useful as I can, given that I've kicked it out already, and like I said, I wish I hadn't put the smoke on, but it's on, so I might as well do something with it. So I start orienting to make it semi-helpful, but I seriously doubt anybody's going to use it. I start using my radio location, and I'm starting to think about where I want to be and what I'm going to do. I can see that B is being capped. You see I put my torpedoes on, and I use the radio location to kind of pin where I think the red DD is. And I'm watching very carefully my torpedo range indicators. You can see I don't cover the cap yet, so I don't fire until I have the cap pretty much covered. Otherwise I'm not guaranteed to have a hit. So I take a shot. I do this frequently. It's a low probability shot, to be honest. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Unsurprisingly, with all those radar ships, somebody turns on the radar, and I immediately orient away to get out of there because I don't want to take a ton of damage. I got the Baltimore and the Chapayev there, which could wreck me pretty quickly. So I start orienting away. Thinking of taking a couple shots at the Akatsuki, but then I lose sight of them, so I stop. Plus I want to drop off radar here, drop off detection. So I wait a little bit. My torpedoes are going to be armed here in a second though, so I'm going to get ready to head back in and maybe torp that smoke. That's something I do pretty frequently. Doesn't always work, of course, but it's worth doing. So now I'm orienting back towards B. Just waiting for the torpedoes to come back. I check the list again. So I see that the other red DD is a Fletcher, and that's over in A. You can see him over there. And at this point in time, well, I didn't really notice it when I was playing, but I notice it now, that a fair number of my team is orienting towards A. And, I shouldn't necessarily expect a whole lot of help, while trying to recap B. So I get in there, take a couple shots based on the radio location and the fact that B is still being capped. And, you know, maybe I'll get lucky. You never know. And then I head into the cap. I was hoping I'd get there just a half second earlier to stop them from capping it, but I'm a little late for that. But now at least they're not going to rack up a bunch of points. And I'm hoping now that I can get a, you know, a cheap shot on the Akatsuki. You know, if he pops out from smoke, you know, maybe with luck he'll eat a torp, which would be really a good thing. And I'm just kind of sitting here waiting to see if I see him and open fire if I can. But I am fully prepared to turn away and run because, you know, obviously these ships are still there and they can still light me up. There's the ATCAT. I take some shots at him. He's in reverse. I don't lead him enough as he's reversing, and all of my shots miss. I immediately orient away because I just know everybody's going to open up on me. I mean, this is just bound to happen. I turn on my smoke, you know, and for a half second consider staying there, but really it's not an option. They're going to turn on the radar and, you know, they're going to get me. So I just hit the gas and try to get out of here and evade as much fire as I can. Fortunately, I get a torpedo hit on the Chapayev. I wasn't even aiming at him, but he wandered into the zone, so that's a nice thing. That must be the Atlanta throwing that volume of fire at me, and then you see the radar come on again. So once again, I'm detected, and I just need to run for my life, basically, and you know, not get killed. Chapayev dies, which is obviously good. My health is actually pretty decent, you know. Despite all of that, I didn't take that much damage, so you know, I'm thinking I'll go in again and you know, try to cap B. You know, we don't have it yet, and you know, we need it. We don't have A. We don't have any caps right now. I see the Pensacola sneaking his way in, and you know, based on the map, it looks like he's orienting toward B, which would just bring him within range of my torpedoes. I take a shot. You know, it's you know, you never know. Sometimes you get a hit, sometimes you don't. Now I notice these ships working their way on the right flank, and I'm thinking that I need to start orienting to you know, to do some defense here. I have a number of my friendly ships behind me, so that's a good thing. I'd smoke them if I could, but obviously I just used that. It's on cooldown, so I gotta wait. I kind of like it when you know, the team pushes in like this. You know, the red team pushes in like this, and I'm able to, you know, kind of run and do a defensive you know, shooting like this. I don't know, it works well for me. I get a couple hits on the Neptune. He's, you know, lower HP than the others. You know, I'm not figuring I'm going to sink him necessarily, but if I can discourage him, that would be a good thing. You know, maybe some others can light him up and hurt him. I just barely miss a salvo from the Missouri, which if it had hit would have done a ton of damage. That was luck on my part. I take a couple more snapshots at the Atlanta and the Neptune. You know, I'm really prepared for them to open up and, you know, shoot at me, but it doesn't happen, fortunately. Then I start focusing on this this Missouri. You know, obviously he's pushing his way in. I can see on the map that the Akatsuki's behind him, and you know, he's at full HP, so I'd really like to, you know, make him pay for pushing in like this. It takes me a couple of seconds to get the range right. He's at pretty much my max range, to be honest. And I flip between my attention to the Missouri and the Akatsuki. You know, I'd really like to get their Atcat out of the battle. If we don't have the DD to worry about, it'll make my life a little bit easier. There'll be less torps, you know, all those kind of good things. So I see the Gneisenau moving in to, you know, maybe take on the Atcat. I orient myself to think about it, but I can't see him, and I see a whole bunch of torps coming, and well, unfortunately, our Gneisenau dies. I don't really want to push in there anymore. You know, the Missouri will be able to spot me every time I shoot. The Neptune and the Atlanta and the Atcat are in that smoke. They'll all be able to fire back, and, you know, it could be a little ugly. So I orient myself so I could start playing a bit more defense, and you know, maybe get some shots on that Missouri. I noticed our Missouri, a friendly Missouri, is pushing in behind me. I don't want him to get too damaged or too focused, so my smoke is up. I flip on my smoke, and I go to you know, basically shield him from some of the fire. While I'm at it, I line up and take a couple of shots at the Missouri. I use a wide angle spread. You know, sometimes I use narrow, sometimes I use wide. He is kind of close, so maybe I could have gotten away with narrow, but I was shooting kind of fast. And you know, depending on how I feel, I do different things. But in this case, I did 2 wide spreads. Somebody kills the Atlanta, which is obviously very advantageous. Don't need him shooting at me. And I decided to give the Missouri a little time to bake, you know, and let those torpedoes run so he doesn't jinx. So, and like I said, I want to get rid of that Akatsuki anyway. So I take a couple shots at him, you know, hoping I could take him out. He's running at full speed. He's obviously hard to hit. I try to lead him, but, you know, everyone who knows that American DD knows the shells are pretty slow. I get 2 hits while I'm waiting on the Missouri, so that's obviously a nice thing. One of them caused flooding, which is good. I try to hit the Atcat. His health is getting way down, which is obviously a good thing. But, you know, he's not dead yet. So now I flip around. Figure I'll focus on the Missouri again. The friendly Missouri is just pushing up next to me. He's going to blow through here in a second. There he goes. And while I'm at it, I figure I'll get some shots on the Missouri. He has bigger and easier ships to shoot at than me, so he's unsurprisingly going to pay attention to them. I get a fire started on his fantail, and I'm just going to continue my you know, shooting him. He's pretty easy for me to hit. And you know, I might be able to do a lot of damage. I started here after the torpedo hits at about 27,000 in damage, and as you can see now, I'm up, you know, another 10,000, and you know, that fire is going to do a fair amount of damage to him. So I'm just going to, you know, keep raining down shells on him. I feel like I'm in a good position, you know, based on my angle. The Atlanta and the Neptune will have a very hard time hitting me if I'm even in range for them. I'm sorry, the Atlanta's dead, so he's not going to do it, but the Neptune is going to have a hard time hitting me. So I just keep raining down rounds on him. The Lion and the New Orleans are going to take him on, and you know, that's obviously a good thing. And I'll just do what I can to, you know, weaken him and keep them from taking much damage. So I just put as many rounds on him as I can. I'm conscious of the Lion getting closer, so I'm going to, you know, check my fire here in 1 second so I don't hit him inadvertently. And I'm going to reorient myself. I like, if I'm shooting at a, you know, a big ship like a Missouri or any battleship really, I like to, if possible, be going parallel courses to them just because they're easier to hit and you don't have to adjust your aim quite so often. So I pick him up again, I reacquire the target, start shooting more HE at him, and you can see that fire really hurt him, and I get the kill, which is a nice thing. I see the our Missouri that I smoked earlier. He's on low HP, unfortunately, and for a half a second I consider smoking him to help him, but I mean, look at his HP. He's 841. He's got nothing left, and you know, it is my last smoke. So sometimes you have to make those decisions as a DD driver. You know, where you're going to invest your resources, and you know, I like to save people, and I've done it many times. But you know, other times I've smoked people only for them to die like half a second later. So I decided to go cap B, and you know, leave the Missouri to his fate. And as you can see, he dies 1 second later anyway. Yeah, I feel bad about that, but it just happens. So now I'm going to just do my best to push into to B as fast as we can. I mean, when you look at the count here, you can see that we're down, you know, more than 200 points. You know, we're up on ships, which is not bad, but we're down, you know, way on count from a cap standpoint. Some planes are coming at me. The CV's, you know, sending some bombers. So I'm less concerned about the damage the bombers will do, and I'm more concerned with, you know, just getting fired on by people and being detected. So I immediately orient away and start opening up on the Izumo. I'm detected anyway, so I might as well start shooting and do something. And our CV gets some really good hits on the Izumo, you know, starts a nice fire. I orient away, just take some shots, do what I can. And there come the bombers. Bomber number 1, bomber number 2. I immediately set damage control and try to keep my damage to a minimum. And you know, once again, I still want to get into B and, you know, get it capped, because, you know, we need the points. Looking at it now, you can see that we are, you know, a little less than 300 down, which is a lot. You can see the 2 cruisers that on our side that are coming out of A, which they should be doing, you know, to go engage. I offer the Lion some smoke if he's going to head toward B to give him something to shoot at. He seems to be orienting more away, though, towards C, so I kind of break off that idea and think that I'll just go, you know, directly back into B and try to cap it. So I do that. As you can see, our cruisers are coming out and fighting like they should, and unfortunately, they're both going to die. The Lion offers to go cap C, and I say I'll cap B, which I was going to do anyway, so it's good. If he heads over there, maybe we can get it a little bit earlier. Now, as you can see, one of our cruisers died. So now I'm capping B, and our other cruiser died. And we're almost 400 points down, which is, we're up on ships, but, way down on points, and they're close, it's 860, they're not far to running out this match. So I'm just doing everything I can to cap B. I noticed this only in the replay, but I could have taken a shot at the Neptune hiding in the smoke there. I was too preoccupied with getting behind this island, so I didn't really think about it, but, that might have been a good idea. My idea is to get behind this island and protect myself for some return fire, so I can, A, not get damaged, and B, continue my cap in case the CV comes and spots me. I slow down momentarily, just because if I blow through the cap too quick, I won't actually capture it. So I wait for a second until I'm confident that I can speed up all the way and that I'll still cap B completely. So that's what I do. Now I just want to get to C as fast as humanly possible. We're still down, a lot of points. It's not easy. I look at the Iowa. He is within range. I consider shooting at him, although he is orienting away, and he'll be hard to hit at that range. And I figure if I just light myself up and make myself easier to be detected, it won't be a good thing, and I'll just get, maybe killed, or it'll delay my capping, which we really need. So I don't do it. As soon as I get spotted by planes, I immediately orient to, protect myself from gunfire, because obviously it's going to come. They all see me. They all know I'm here. And I just do everything I can to make myself hard to hit and get into the cap as soon as humanly possible. Of course, I have one smoke left. It's good that I saved it for this very purpose. And as soon as I get into the cap, I throw on the smoke and I slam on the brakes just to do everything I can to cap and basically hide for half a second. I throw out some defensive torps. As you look at this, at replay, you can tell that all of the ships are too far away, and it's not going to reach any of them. I did it more as kind of a defensive gesture, just in case. Didn't serve any real purpose in this case. Now that I'm hiding in the smoke, I'm able to start capping, which we obviously really need, and I can get a little revenge on that Baltimore. So I open fire on him. I don't do any great shots on him necessarily, but I'm able to get some hits in. And, fortunately now we've pulled it back a lot. Now we're only 200 points down. Other friendlies are coming into the cap to help me, so that's, a really good thing. I throw some more rounds at the Baltimore, although he's, relatively fast and running away pretty quick. So it's hard for me to hit him, but I just do what I can. There's nothing else to shoot at. One of my teammates nailed the CV, so that's a good thing. So now we're only down 150 points, so we're starting to pull this back. So I shoot at the Baltimore for about as long as I can till he's out of range, and now I'm kind of thinking, well, what am I going to do? I'm kind of thinking that maybe the Neptune or somebody's going to head back towards B and maybe try to slow down our cap of B. I mean, what else are they going to do? They could try to run out the clock, but, they're not going to get any points, and, we're going to, because of all three caps, we're going to have more. So I start heading out, not really sure what I'm going to do, kind of thinking I'm going to hide behind that island in B and, maybe wait for the Neptune or somebody to come in. The Baltimore gets killed on the red side, so that's obviously a good thing, and now we're finally in the lead, so that's a good thing. So I start heading out this way and thinking that I'm going to, head into B, and then I get spotted by planes, and I realize that I'm in some real trouble here. So there's the Neptune. He's close. He sees me. I'm spotted. And I figure I'll just throw some rounds at him because I'm spotted anyway. It's not like, not shooting is going to help me at all. So I get a couple of hits, but to be honest, kind of a futile gesture. So the Neptune kills me. Somebody else kills him. I didn't get that kill. And it was kind of a dumb move on my part, and I mentioned that in chat. This was a close game, and for me to die in kind of a useless way like this, when I was pretty sure I was going to die to the Neptune was, not a good move on my part. I probably should have angled away a little more protectively, but thankfully, the rest of my team did some good work, and we pulled out the win. So I like this. We were down 400 points, and it was a tough battle. Red put up a hell of a fight, but we got the win in the end because we were very persistent and we didn't give up. So thanks for watching.